Thank you for attending this Connect Together event. During this event, we have automatic closed captioning available. Please go to the bottom of the Zoom meeting, click Live Transcript, and then Show Subtitles to turn them on. Before we begin this Connect Together event, we'd like to take a quick moment to let you know how you can join an opinion research panel made specifically for British Columbians living with disabilities.
For 25 years, the Disability Foundation has been fostering meaningful experiences for Canadians with disabilities through outdoor recreation, social connectedness, innovative adaptive devices, and more. Today we are asking, how has the pandemic affected you? Help strengthen decision makers' understanding of your needs and experiences by joining an online opinion research panel consisting solely of people with disabilities and their caregivers. Make a difference in your community today. The Disability Foundation. Reimagine what is possible.
Did you know? Young adults with disabilities have a harder time getting hired. Break down barriers by sharing your story. Take our survey.
All right, Ms. Darlene, you can carry on with the presentation. Thank you so much.
Are we on? Hi, everyone. Sorry for the confusion in getting started a little bit late this morning, kind of a sleepy computer here. I'm Darlene, and this is Tyra beside me, and we are part of the B.E.E.P. Education Ecological Protection Society. For short, it's B.E.E.P.S, and we are a society in Peachland that works in protecting a bat colony that lives in one of the historic schools here. And we provide educational programs, lots of fun activities for kids. We will travel to schools. We have schools come into our premises for programs. We're very busy. And we're just going to inform you on some of the programs that we have, some of the background of our organization. And then maybe after we show a PowerPoint, we'll talk a little more specific about actual ways that you could participate with B.E.E.P.S. So I think we'll go right into the PowerPoint. Just going to share our screen here.
The Wi-Fi is a little slow this morning, but we'll get there.
All good. Take your time.
Okay. There it is. We don't want this on the side. So this PowerPoint is actually our review of our year in 2021. So there's some quite detailed information. So we might just go through that a little quickly. But there's some really nice pictures of some of our events, and it shows opportunities that are available. If you want to volunteer, if you want to participate, it'll just give kind of an overview of what we did in 2021. Yeah, we have a sleepy Wi-Fi today. So B.E.E.P.S is basically, I'll just start what some of the slides may be telling you about. B.E.E.P.S is a not-for-profit society, and we basically do not have a paid staff. We have volunteers, we do fundraising, and we have membership dues that help us present the programs that we want to present. We started in 2015, but prior to that, in 2012, 2011, was when Peachland realized how many bats were actually in our attic. And there was a biologist from Environment Canada that was assessing when they were going to renovate the whole school, what happens with the bats that are living in the attic. And so at that time, the biologist, Aaron Reed was his name, recommended that we start a bat education program, which we did in 2011. And one of the very first things we did was through donations from Peachland businesses and some fundraising, and also from the BC Nature Fund contributed. We were able to purchase a camera and put it in the attic so that we were able to watch the daytime activity as the bats were, well, sleeping. And personally, I always thought during the day the bats would just sort of hang upside down there. They would sleep all the time. But as you watch the footage of what's actually going on through the live feed, it does show that they're busy, that they clean themselves constantly. They're stretching their wings. They want to get comfortable. It's quite enjoyable to actually see what is happening. So I think Tyra's going to control the slides. There we go. So basically, this is what I have just been telling you. So our mission is to provide citizen science opportunities, education for children, and support through community events. So one of our main projects this year, which is something that B.E.E.P.S has been working on for with 15 partners for 3 years, is the Bats Out of the Darkness, which is a traveling exhibit. And it is available to travel to schools, to community centers. And it has been a very large project, and it was funded by the South Okanagan Conservation Fund. So the South Okanagan, which is communities, pardon me, from Summerland down to Osoyoos, were very involved in this project. And so it aims to dispel the myths about bats in BC and enlighten visitors and locals about the many benefits that bats provide to humans and to our ecosystems. So with the Bats Out of the Darkness, we had a grand opening and a VIP night, and both we were honored to have from the West Bank First Nations an elder, Pamela Barnes, who officiated these ceremonies for us with a prayer and a welcome. So we had the exhibit for 5 months, and we were in 2 different locations. So it was a summer exhibit at the Peachland Community Center, where we had just over 1,000 visitors. And then the fall exhibit, we moved to the building we're in right now, which is also a historic building in Peachland. And it's the very first schoolhouse. It's a 1-room schoolhouse. And during the fall, we had 750 visitors. So fall events for B.E.E.P.S is a lot of programs for groups like the Girl Guides, the Scouts, the Brownies. Some schools will come to us, and for this year, we showed them through the exhibit, and then we also took them on a mystery trail walk. And during that fall exhibit, Bat Week is the last week of October. And in that week alone, we had 220 people, and basically it was just under 200 children. So that was exciting for us. And the total visitors for the 5 months was 1,800. So the exhibit has now returned to Kelowna Museum, and it is available to be signed out if anyone is interested. It's quite large. There are 4 main exhibit panels, and they're double-sided, so you walk around them. Oh, we're Okay. And so then as part of the exhibit, you also get a lot of other pieces. So the photo on the right, did you hear that? It's using QR codes. So you can hear what different species of bats sound like. And then the other picture on the right is, it's kind of hard to see, but behind that glass, it's a glass showcase. We had taxidermy items. Of the couple of owls, raccoons. It was all the predators of bats, and there were QR codes. So we're just instructing some children how to do that. So the exhibit is back at the museum. And as I said, it can be signed out. You just need to contact them. So this is just a picture of the glass case and some of the predators. They were loaned to us through the regional district on Kelowna, Central Okanagan, the Parks Department, and the regional district of the Similkameen and the Kelowna and Penticton museums. So that was like an additional display that we had within the exhibit. So we also have promoted how important bats are in agriculture. And I believe you have a garden committee. I hope there are some people today listening from your garden committee. We have partnered with the one winery we have in Peachland, which is Hingley Estate Winery, and created a bat-friendly garden on their premises. We've installed a bat house also, which will hopefully we'll be able to monitor. There are a lot of predators within their area. Hawks, night hawks certainly are the most dangerous because they're also flying predators. But we have been promoting how valuable bats are to agriculture. So within one season, if we had 150 big brown bats, which is a common bat in the Okanagan, they would eat up to or consume 38,000 cucumber beetles, 19,000 June bugs, and I don't think anybody's fond of stink bugs. They would eat up to 50,000 stink bugs. Sorry, 19,000 stink bugs, 50,000 leafhoppers. So those are all insects that attack our gardens. And so bats are insectivores, they eat insects. So in hand, they are helping us with our gardens. So Peachland is a bat-friendly community, and this is a partnership between the District of Peachland and people within our community. And so this is where we provide a lot of opportunities for volunteering. One of the, well, the bats return in April. So our events basically are May to October when the bats are here. And we're able to have live feed. We can see them in the attic. And one of the things that we do, which is kind of a fun activity, is we tie-dye t-shirts. And this is a fundraiser. And so there are no bats on those t-shirts, but in between the drying stage, we play bat games and we do bat crafts. So this is an area that we are always looking for volunteers to assist when we have a lot of children. We're just going to show some of the other, now this is a new program we started this year, Bat Friendly Cooking, which is kind of a strange title, but bats in other parts of the world pollinate plants and protect plants from insects, just like our Canadian bats do that eat insects. And so we created cooking classes using foods that are helped by bats. So they either pollinate or they spread seeds, and those are in tropical countries, or like in Canada, they protect from pest insects. So some of those are mangoes and lemons and even chocolate. So we have some good recipes. Community action. We have a great community supporting bat conservation in Peachland, and this is certainly something that you could be a part of. So one important event that we have is that we count the bats that actually leave the historic building. So the colony that sleeps in the attic all day through the summer is up to around 2,000 bats by the end of the season. So we count bats on Friday evenings, and it starts at dusk. So it's usually around 8:30. We count for 1 hour, and then we go into the building and check the cameras to make sure all the bats have left. And so it's a community event. It's a family event. And we have handheld clickers, or you can download a counter on a phone. And it's basically, we divide into teams, and half of the team in the front of the building would count on the right side, the other half would count on the left side, and we take the average of all the counting. We also have a team at the back. So this is a really fun activity, and we encourage people of all ages and abilities to come out and participate. And this is just an example of our bat-friendly garden. So a bat-friendly garden has plants basically that attract nocturnal insects so that there's food for our bats when they're out feeding at night. So a plant that has a white blossom or a white bloom, which in your vegetable garden would be like beans and peppers and strawberries, and plants that are just in your flower garden could be something that's very scented, like roses, especially the white flower. That's going to attract the bugs, and then that's going to be a source of food for our bats. There is a group in Peachland called the Recovery Task Force, and I think many businesses, many organizations have suffered through the COVID-19 restrictions of not being able to socialize the way we used to. And so a lot of groups in Peachland, like all other communities, are suffering financially and just interacting with people. So B.E.E.P.S is a part of our Recovery Task Force. And just a couple of the things we did, we gave away free hot chocolate on Valentine's Day, always needing volunteers for events like that. And there was a Pamper Yourself relaxation draw where tickets had to be collected up every couple of weeks. Lots of opportunities there too. We also participate in the Peachland Farmers Market, which is every Sunday through the summer. We have a table with bat information, kind of a nice way to just be out and meet visitors to the community and also the local people. But it's a busy table and there are usually lots of questions about bats. So we have a lot of community partners within our community, and we'll just kind of talk about a few of them, not in a great detail. So of course, the District of Peachland always supports us if we need park space, if we need a classroom space, and we also receive 2 grants from them to help us financially. The Peachland Fire Department have been our partners since 2012. And because they are safety oriented, this ladder is a very tall ladder going up into the opening into the attic. They have the equipment to get us up into the attic to do our research. They have the proper protective gear to wear. And even now, we have the one-piece suit, which is also a hoodie. There's boots, because guano is a product that you don't want to be spreading around. So its safety is very important to us. And guano is the droppings from bats, and it's also a very valuable fertilizer, very valuable for gardens, high in nitrates. And so the fire department cleans the attic annually, collecting the guano for B.E.E.P.S, and then we will package it and have it sold as fertilizer. We like to promote bat houses as a sort of a secondary home for bats. With development, with building subdivisions and new roads, a lot of trees are taken down. And the tree that you see in the photo there is the ponderosa pine. And that's one of the main trees that bats like to roost in or sleep in during the daytime. And so when you're looking out at the hills and you see the Ponderosa Pines and it's close to a lake, you can be quite certain in the Okanagan that it is going to have bats sleeping there. It is bat habitat. So we have a local craftsman who builds bat houses, and as a fundraiser, we do sell them. So this year we made a map to just show where the bat houses are located in Peachland and West Kelowna, and if they are having bats sleep in them or not. So out of the 20 bat houses this summer, 40%, almost half, have bats in them. And in West Kelowna, there were 7 bat houses, and a little more were inhabited. And so we would just keep monitoring the people that have installed those, because bats won't always go into the house right away the first year. So the BC Community Bat Program, this is the provincial organization who we work very, very closely with. We follow all their guidelines. And they are community-based also. They work with us, and they work with all different bat supportive organizations throughout the province. And we do a lot of online work with them, a lot of programs, and it's a website that you can go to and get all the information that you would want. So also under the BC BAT program is the Okanagan Community BAT program, and they have their headquarters in Summerland. And we have been expanding our work with them, and it basically is answering calls. So when people phone and they say, I have a bat in my yard, I think it's injured, or there's a dead bat, do you want it to send away for testing, or what do I do with it? Or if they're just nervous because there's bats in there too close to their doorways, they can call Okanagan Community Bat Program, or they can call B.E.E.P.S, and we will come out and visit. So this kind of strange picture that you see is a pillowcase, and there was a bat that was on the ground. So we basically scooped it into a pillowcase, set it back up in the tree, and when it was feeling comfortable, when it was dark, probably it would climb out and find a protective spot for itself. And there's many reasons why it might be on the ground. Maybe it didn't get back to its comfortable roost in time after feeding. Maybe it was dehydrated, needed more water. But these are practices that you have to be trained for. So the volunteer opportunity, this would probably come quite a while after you were more experienced with that information. We have developed, B.E.E.P.S has built a bat house interpretive trail. There are 8 bat houses along a walking trail, and you can see in the bottom left photo is a sample. There is a large sign just below the bat house, and that gives bat information. So this trail, people can walk by themselves, they can read the signs. It's very easy, level walk. And we also give tours though. So the photo with all of the people gathered there is an annual Meadowlark Festival event that we have. And our biologist normally comes that evening, and they have incredibly funny stories about bats to add along the way. This is something that I think a lot of you would enjoy participating in, and then possibly even assisting, because when we have a large group, we need to have people stationed at the beginning of the group, in the middle, and at the end to sort of just guide people along, make sure that we stay together as a group. Adopt a Bat is a children, well, I shouldn't say just a children's program. There's lots of adults that adopt bats too. So it's a symbolic bat from the schoolhouse, and it's basically a computer program. So you choose a bat name, you choose if you want a boy or a girl, and you send it to B.E.E.P.S, And then we will send you information 4 times a year: when your pup is born, when it learns to fly, when it's going to be going to hibernation, and when it returns from hibernation. So the little girl in the photo is holding a crocheted bat stuffy. Now, over the years, we have had, fortunately, volunteers who have either sewn bats for us or crocheted them. And we're getting low, our supply is getting low. So if any of you are talented in that area, we have a pattern, and certainly would love to work with you. As I say, it is all volunteer, but we certainly would love to talk to you. So bat-friendly lighting is a very large project that we are taking on with the District of Peachland. And it involves working with a lot of other community groups, working with post-secondary institutions like UBCO. We were also in contact with a university in northern BC. We're just in the process of getting some sort of format going for this. We're in the steps now of working with the District of Peachland. And it basically is about the lights. Bats have very, very sensitive eyes to light. And the more apartments we build that have lights that are different high stories that go up into the sky, there's more street lights, there's more car lights. We're finding that we have to take some steps to help our bat colonies, just to sort of make sure that it's dimmer lights or LED lights. And we're even looking into colored. Some institutions are saying that red or amber lights are safer for bats' eyes and other animals. So this is an ongoing project right now. And we're doing a lot of research. The steps that will be taken next summer are just being decided at this time. But that's certainly something that if there is a space for volunteers, we could certainly fill you in the future. And this just basically talks about how we need to change some of the lights that we have. So B.E.E.P.S has ongoing future goals. So it's in 2 categories. This first category talks about habitat research studies, or where bats live. So we're talking about in Peachland doing a study about things that have affected our bats, and basically urbanizing or building houses and building roads. The trees are taken down. Some of the plants that are their food source have been taken down to make way for this development. So we are putting together some teams to do some research, and then we also need to find some funding opportunities. So this again is something we're still putting into place for 2022. And the community goals that we have, this is something that I think your group might enjoy. We are certainly going to upgrade our technology. We have equipment in the attic, but we're doing a lot of community events that will be part of expanding our programs. So next year, we want to introduce night walks. And with that, we will be carrying echo meters. And this is just a little hand device that will record the bat sounds as we walk along the pathways. So the Bat House Interpretive Trail that we saw the photos later, that will be our first corridor that we'll start with. And then where we are right now, the little schoolhouse, it's on Brandon Lane, and it's right in the center of bat habitat also. So we will be walking through the laneways. We'll be talking to people that live in these areas and trying to find out how many bats and what the species are that actually are flying throughout Peachland. And then another program is a Bat Ambassador program. So there is a training workshop for this that possibly maybe some of your staff may want to participate in, and then be able to work closely with your clients. And it is available. You can go through B.E.E.P.S. We could provide information on that. And then we also, again, because of habitat loss, because of trees cut down, because of buildings taken down because they're too old, and a lot of this is for safety. It's all a necessity. We are going to encourage more bat houses within our community, and we are going to be spreading pollinator seeds, flower seeds, and plant seedling trees. So that might be a project that some of you may be interested in if you're gardeners. And of course, we're providing education on bats to different businesses, different people that are a part of development in communities. So that is basically our PowerPoint. Can we shut it down? Yeah. So I don't know if you have any questions. I did want to just also, once we've got a full screen here, I'll just show you some of the items that may be of interest to you. So when we have a children's program, whether it be a large group that comes from a school, we had 44 children one time this week, or that week, or if it's just like 7 or 8 children that might be sparks or brownies and comes, we always provide a bat craft in a bag like this. So these bags have to be created. And so that's a hands-on project. This one is just a clothes peg, gets spray painted black, and each bag has to have all of the pieces. This one is a pine cone craft. So collecting pine cones is a big job that we need. So there are many shapes of pine cones, and this is the shape that we need. So you can put a nice face on it. It has a round shape for a body. A pine cone like this, wings won't fit on. And a pine cone like this is also too tight. So even though we say we'd love you to collect pine cones, unfortunately, we're fussy. So to make them work for the craft that we have, there has to be a certain image, but this is a fun one. This is something that you could certainly help us with in going out in nature and collecting things. And this one is a bat flag, and the pieces are in here for the flag. It's a bat to glue on, and the fabric is all cut to size, and there's pieces of moons and stars. Basically, it's telling us bats are nocturnal. But what we need for this one, we need sticks. We need very small little twigs so they can tie the flag onto a stick and then hang it. And that means going out in the woods and collecting nice little pieces of wood. So that one is another one. And this one is kind of a fun project, and it involved collecting lids. We need to collect lids because we join them with metal clips, and we glue on owls, we glue on bats, and then there's a smaller one typically that we glue on insects. So it's the food chain. So we always teach something with our products, but oh, there's a little one, it was stuck. So basically it's an easy craft for young children. And one of the things that you could even start this winter, if you're interested, we provide, this was one of the ones we did this summer, which is really fun. So we need to spray paint lids, we need to make a black circle, and then inside we put a tea light, which we provide all the pieces, but inside we glue black trees, black little bats, and there's patterns for everything. But the pieces have to be put together. And for this project, we had 2 sizes of jars available for children. Well, the children all wanted the big one. So we need to collect some bigger jars. And this is a canning jar, which I don't know if you can see, but it actually has shapes of fruit on the jar itself. And that makes it not as easy to see what's inside. So if we had a plain jar like this one, like a pickle jar, this is what we need, but a bigger size. So a plain jar, bigger size would be wonderful if anyone can collect those over the winter. So for all of these crafts, we need 40 to 50 pieces. So 40 to 50 big jars, 40 to 50 pine cones, same with the sticks. So if that's anything that you're interested in doing, it's something that could be started right away. So I don't know if you have any questions or anything you wanted us to expand on.
I think we have no questions on this end. Thank you so much for the great presentation.
Oh, thank you. Is that you, Jeff? It's nice to meet you.
I'm Yoshi. I'm actually the stream tech for today's
Oh,
event.
okay.
Yeah, I'll be just looking at the YouTube and Facebook pages just to make sure we don't have any questions.
Okay. Do you want to add anything, Tyra?
I think you covered pretty much everything. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, it seems like we're all clear on this end. You can carry on if you need to speak a bit more. We have time, or else you can end it here if you prefer that.
What's he saying?
Oh, that you can either end it here or expand more. Up to you.
Okay, I think that we are good with the information we wanted to give. The time frame is maybe what I can just make a couple comments on. So because we've gone into winter now, or we're going into winter, and the bats are hibernating, we don't have the actual one-on-one craft programs like we do in the spring and the summer and the fall. So this time of year is when we do our writing and when we research new items and we do the collecting. So I think if there is some participation that people want to do, certainly collecting the jars, possibly in the spring is a better time to collect the branches because then they've got moisture in them and they're easy to work with. And then once the heat comes and pine cones start to fall. So I think over the winter, it's basically jar collection and then spring and summer getting into the natural pieces. And certainly we'd love to have as many of you come out and have fun with us when we do the bat counts. And so we can provide all of the links. We're just launching a brand new website this week, and it's going to have a lot of information on it, a lot of things we talked about today. So we will have that available to you also. So I think that's about it if there are no questions.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Darlene. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's been really helpful.
Good.
Well, yeah, if you want to end it here, we can do that. Have a great day.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for both of you. Thank you, everyone.